Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Descent into Avernus. We we apologize for the last week. Um, I had quite a bit of schoolwork and it needed to take priority. So, without further ado, of course, we like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, dbeyond.com, as well as Lucky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express. If you're looking for live games to play in the Huntsville, Alabama area, you can head on out to those two locations and find yourself live games put on by the head DM, Heath himself. Uh, in addition, we have new content coming to Patreon as of December. An adventure written by yours truly is going up as a Patreon reward. It will give you tokens, character sheets, maps, and the story itself, all at a tier of subscription. We're still working out which tier exactly that's going to be, but if you want to see what that adventure is all about and check it out before you pick it up for yourself to be able to run at a table of your choosing, you can tune in with us tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. EST, and we will be showcasing that particular one shot. So, without further ado, when we last left our group of intrepid heroes, they had just found the adamantium rods, all 9 of them. And Adira found out something interesting about those rods when she touched them. Got herself a vision. I just want to make sure everybody can still hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Because my ping is all over the place. Again. Yep. It's okay. It's a me problem. It's fine. Alright. So, and you guys were on your way back to the forge. Yes? Does that sound right? Sounds right to
Yes.
me.
Sounds right. We're going back to the forge so we can get the armor. Yeah, we can pay off Adira's debt, but the Duchess is claiming that the the rods can be used for something else.
And then we
And
found out we can use the sword instead.
found out we could use the sword instead, but
Yep.
yep, that was a beautiful moment.
Yep. Alright.
So, but we still decided that it was just that we were going to still go to the forge and pay off Adira's debt.
Yes. Okay. So, with that in mind, by the time you guys get back to the forge, it's about midday. What are you guys going to do?
Okay.
You have made it back to the forge.
So we still have to talk to Duchess about our decision.
Yes,
Which
sir.
I guess I was the one who was gonna front that one.
Mm-hmm.
As I walk up, I continually take the dodge action. So what, Duchess?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we had this conversation, but ultimately I think the best thing for all of us is to actually complete the contract on Adira's armor, get it done, because that way we'd be able to get to Eldra and wield that sword anyway.
You're taking them back to Belle's forge, right?
Aye.
Well, they don't call me a master thief for nothing.
I mean, that's one way of doing things.
I'll get them to Eltrul. Don't worry.
Okay. I mean,
But you
ultimately,
don't know any of that.
know what?
Exactly.
But ultimately, we need to pay off some debts. So
Understandable.
people are kind of stingy with the rules around here. So, or not stingy, they're kind of strict.
That's one word for it.
Yes. But anyway, girl, I guess I'll be not seeing you around.
Well, you'll see me around. Just hopefully during the final fight. And hopefully we're on the right side. Same side. Maybe not the right side. The same side.
Well, one could always hope.
That we can. Alright. Good luck. I better depart from you guys before you re-enter that forge. Since I'm going to be doing some, questionable things.
Otter's just a clacking away.
Oh, is that coming through?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Normally it doesn't. I actually didn't think that was Otter.
Yeah.
The only person it would have been was you. And you had one hand up in front of your face, so we knew it wasn't you.
Hmm.
Well,
Uh,
best of luck to you, Dante.
Duchess.
And then you watch as she hops on her devil's ride and heads off.
Wait, did she just take one of our?
No, she had
She
one of her own.
did.
She had her own.
Nah, I like the headcanon that she took one of ours.
Just
You
peeled
act
away
like
on
we would
Amaranth.
let her get that far.
That would turn into a very Mad Max chase scene, and I don't know if I'm
We
here for
have
that.
a ballista.
I
Witness me.
know what I said. That being said, all right, the the forge is in front of you. It hasn't changed in the day or so that you've been away, and you guys are escorted back down again. You're familiar-ish to them, so they don't really question it too much. So, what do you guys? How are you going to approach this? Oh, I'm going to turn that.
How are we gonna approach?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the the front way, the same way we came in.
I meant, how are you going to approach Belle? Not.
Oh, yeah. How are we gonna do that?
I guess just give me the rods and I'll go
We found your stuff.
lift the bag and shake them out, you know.
We would like our steel so we can go return it to the place to do the thing.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I'll approach him.
Okay. Well, it seems like you brought them back to me. I can't say that I'm too particularly happy about that outcome.
Yep. So there they are.
I'm sorry, you sent us to get something, but you're not happy we brought it to you.
We didn't even sign a contract. You had no obligation to actually bring those back to me.
Contract
Other-
not with you, but
Other than fulfilling a contract that we are already part of, that you are going to help us fulfill.
Maybe. Look, you can keep them. I have no use for them.
So this was a wild goose chase?
No, you found them, didn't you?
I think he just wanted us gone.
Uh-huh.
But since you did do what I asked you to, and as such, you should be properly compensated.
We didn't sign a contract.
That you didn't. However, you did do what I wanted you to, so, that being said, Iron and Steel will once again run through to the Wandering Emporium and the Salamanders, which clears you, lovely little cleric, of your debt to them.
thank you.
And, in case anybody asks, you stumbled upon those rods by accident. You can go.
I can't lie. But okay.
So don't lie. Just tell
That-
fragments of the truth.
No, let me do the speaking when it comes to that thing.
Oh no. Adira will just come out with it. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? What do
You
you
tell
mean
this
you're going to
ray
come
of
up with this?
sunshine to go and lie.
Well, no, I'm not
Or
saying
just
word to
obscure.
lie. I'm just saying just to not speak at that moment.
Unless the question is pointing at me, I will say nothing.
Oh, girl, we're going to have some chats with you.
I want to ask this fella what that is, and I want to point up to the giant war machine hanging from the ceiling.
It's a war machine.
How does it work?
Can
We
I?
haven't quite gotten that far. You'll notice it's still in the process of being made. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put on it, but it would run just like every other war machine out there. It's just going to be better because it's going to be mine.
Well, if you need any help, I do take contracts.
I'll be sure to keep it in mind.
We good to go?
Yeah, get out. Oh, right. That other little bit of information you needed from me. Do you have a map? He drags one fingernail across it, and a new mark appears on your map.
I was like, why is he ripping it? No.
He's not. He's not. It's not enough to tear it, but it's enough that his magic then reveals on the map where you can find the Bleeding Citadel.
Fun.
We need that. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Quest item.
No, that's everything. Get out.
At your beck and call. And I leave.
I follow behind Dante. I just wrote blank what the name was. Jesus Christ. Oh, that was fun.
Yep, I'll follow behind the group.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised that happened.
We
We didn't
totally
sign a
coulda-
contract.
We totally could have freed that weird ooze thing that
Could
Adira
have.
made friends with.
But it seemed like that ooze thing was an asshole anyway, so
True, but so is he.
It's
Yeah,
really okay once you start
everyone's an
talking
asshole
to
down
him.
here. Sorry, I interrupted you there, Q.
Okay. He was really okay once you talked to him.
Once he was roped into being nice via spells. Let's get the hell out of here.
So one quick drive and one crying Dante later.
Sorry, I'm just quickly checking on here just to make sure that, because sometimes the map will show you like where things are, but the location of the Bleeding Citadel isn't actually on this particular map.
Hmm.
So I can't like ping a general area, but you do know where it is. Belle has marked it for you, and you are able to head in that direction. But it's
Sure.
gonna take you quite a bit of time. This is not gonna be a short journey.
Getting real down on them soul coins.
So that being said, I need perception checks from the two drivers that we have with us.
Perception. Fuck. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, that's a bit better. Not much better.
Okay. All right. Otter.
Mm-hmm.
In the distance, you see what could possibly be equivalent to a castle. It is a veritable fortress, settled, kind of in the middle of Avernus.
Okay.
It definitely doesn't look like it belongs there.
Does it vaguely resemble a castle we were told about in the past that might be
Yeah.
somewhere?
Matter of fact, it has that symbol on it that you were told would tell you where you would be able to find sanctuary.
I don't remember that, but Cost probably does.
This would have been when you guys said goodbye to Comfort,
Yes.
because that was the last interaction you had with these two particular NPCs.
Okay. I will hop on the radio and let the other drivers know where it is and point towards heading that way. Looks like we have a bit of sanctuary here coming up on the left.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so just remember that getting back to Belle's Forge consumed the last charge of the soul coin that was in your vehicle, so you had to put a new one in.
I just did.
Okay. This particular journey took you 24 hours.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
another one.
Remembering that each soul coin gives you 72 hours of drive time.
Okay.
Okay. So 24 hours and you reach this new haven.
Mm-hmm.
As you approach, it doesn't look like it's manned at all. It looks almost decrepit, and yet at the same time, it doesn't look like the forces of Avernus would be able to break into it. It has a deceptive, almost surreal feel of falling apart.
Okay.
Which is strange because, I mean, you're in Avernus, things shouldn't really be falling apart like this. But again, it doesn't look like it's being defended. So.
I believe they said it was protected in some way. I don't know if it has to be manned.
Well, there's only one way to find out now, is there?
When we pull up, is it like actual castle with like the outer ring, a gate, and then an inner fortress, or just like
Yes.
one building?
No. It is like a castle.
Beautiful.
Otter, you would recognize this as hold on. Gotta pull up her spell sheet because I have it in here. You would recognize this as Mighty Fortress.
Okay.
So you're telling me a spell did that?
Yeah.
Man, I learned all the wrong stuff.
Depends what
Okay.
you use it for.
I mean, that is true. But still, do you imagine if I could create a castle like that out of my own whim? Oh, man. Wouldn't have to worry about living on the streets.
Would Koss have any idea of like the time it takes to create something like this?
You
From
have to
book
cast it.
knowledge?
You have to cast it on the same spot once every 7 days for a year to make this permanent.
It's a bit of a commitment to make one of these, Dante. You have to cast the spell weekly for a year, and then it will become permanent.
And it consumes a diamond worth 500 gold pieces. You have to
Each.
cast this 52 times.
And it
And it
costs a
consumes it
diamond worth
every
500
time.
gold every time you cast it for the year.
Okay, maybe not. You know what? You convinced me otherwise. I like living on the streets anyway. You people and your cost for things. Although, still,
It's
a
really
cat can
cool.
dream.
It's just really expensive.
Act- It costs the fortune of a castle to make this thing permanent. I guess in reality it would take the time away, but still, is it really worth it in the end?
You don't need an interior designer. You just make it how
Oh,
you want it.
so how would you have it?
Not this big.
Not this big, so I'm guessing it'd be just be one giant workshop for you then.
And some other things, but yes.
To be fair, you don't really have a choice on how big it is. This is this is 120 feet by 120 feet
Yep. I
on
don't
each
know the
side.
specifics of the spell. That's
No,
just
no, no.
this is
For
Koss
anybody who's
answering
curious,
honestly.
I am gonna toss it into the chat there for you. This is a lot, so read it later. But it's there if you guys want to read it up on it later. Okay.
I'm gonna
You
head
are
up to the gate and push in and
yeah.
park
The door's open.
the vehicles inside the inner walls.
The moment you guys step in within these walls and the gate closes behind you, the oppressive heat that you have come to be so familiar with almost seems to disappear. And it's not cold, but it's balmy. It's nice. It's not oppressively hot, and you feel almost like you can breathe again.
Really
Oh,
stuffy in here.
you got this stuffy. I got this perfect. Ugh, it's been a while since I've enjoyed this kind of ghoul. But you call like you're usually the one who's like not wearing a shirt at all. So what are you thinking?
Definitely a little bit better.
A little bit better. You mean a little
Well,
bit better? You can cut diamonds on the how hot your nipples are looking right now.
hey, what are you doing looking at those?
Oh, they're staring right at me. What you talking about? Their head height.
I'm so sad Deca missed that line. Oh, God.
I will agree, it's much nicer here, but Is it going to make it harder to go back out?
I don't know, but I'm in need of a nap.
Always in a need of a nap.
What
So
do you mean?
when you guys entered, what you see in front of you is you've got the four walls that are 120 feet in height, and there is a small keep in the center of this courtyard.
You said keep in the middle of the fortress?
Yes.
Thank you.
Shall we try and hail these people? Or does your magical prowess know that they're already here? Or that they know that we're here?
Well, they said whether they were here or not, we are allowed to enter and have sanctuary. So they could be here, they could not be here. We'll find out.
Well, okay. Well, then let's go snooping.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Dear, you're coming?
Of course.
Okay. As you guys approach the front doors, they also swing open, almost as if they're moving by themselves. Cost, based on your theory that you know about this spell, there is a staff of invisible servants, and that's what's opening and closing these doors.
Oh, man. I'm not going to say anything about it.
Fair enough. You are but
Um,
you do know book knowledge about this, which is why I'm letting you know that this is what's happening.
Sure.
I don't like places that can, automatic. I don't trust it.
Yeah, it's far from automatic. It's all part of the spell.
Yeah, you're more
To
comfortable with
be
spells than
automatic?
I am.
For instance, someone help our friend with his hat. And I'll point at Dante.
Are you wearing the hat,
Of
JT?
course. Of course.
Cool. The hat actually is removed off of your head,
Oh,
and then
don't
it's
you dare.
held there. It's just held there. It seems to be floating, but it's not hovering or anything. It is just being held there.
Well, I see my friend is having trouble getting out of his armor. I point.
I'll stand there and let him try.
You point at Cos?
Yeah?
Okay. Cos, you feel invisible hands attempting to try and help you out of your armor, but maybe a minute, 2 minutes pass as they try to help you out of your armor, and then it stops because they can't figure out how to get it off.
I'm just standing there like this, and nothing's happening. You're close. You're close, Dante. You're close.
I mean, it was worth a shot. I just wanted to see if it would work.
It won't.
Okay.
There's a staff here. You can't really see them, but from what I understand, if you make a request, they will do their best to fill it.
So if I told them to give Lulu back scratches, they would do it.
Most likely. I'm just going to kind of ask the air, if there is a workshop, can you show me the way?
Okay. Before that happens, you hear movement at the top of the stairs in the foyer that you're in.
Sure.
Descending down the stairs is the dragon-scaled man that you had met before. It is Cyanus. And he sets foot at the bottom of the stairs and smiles at all of you. I'm sure that you would like to put some time in the workshop. However, it is my understanding that you've been traveling for quite a bit. May I offer you refreshments and a place to sleep to start instead? I'm not denying you access to the workshop, but I think it would be better for all parties involved if you were to take a rest first. There's no point in exploding my workshop because you're tired. My wife would be less than pleased.
I'm not going to say that sentence. Sure.
I want to know what you were going to say.
I might blow up your workshop on a full night of sleep.
Yes, but that is more a question of miscalculation than a question of being tired and making a mistake. Because you're tired.
Working with very interesting things that I have lined up could result in horrible things either way. We'll find out.
Yeah, probably better that you don't tell him that.
I want to mess around in the workshop. Sure, let's find somewhere to sleep and get some food.
Cyanus leads you guys up. He asks if any of you are planning on bunking together or if you would all like separate rooms because he doesn't assume.
Just gently look over at Koss and Adira. So,
Separate rooms are fine.
Huh. Right. Okay. He leads you guys up. Dante, he gestures one room for you, Koss the next room for you, and then Corlick the next room for you, and then puts Adira and Koss in rooms next to each other across the hall from the other two. In separate rooms, as requested. Amaranth is also put up in a separate room.
I was waiting for you to be like, 2 separate rooms, but there's a door in the middle.
Yeah, see, you should have let me finish because I absolutely was about to say, but there is a door that connects the two of them together.
If there's not a door that connects Corlick and Dante's room,
There is
I'm
a
gonna be
door that
pissed.
connects Corlick and Dante's room
Good.
together.
him just consistently scratching at the door.
All night. All you hear is.
Yeah, all you hear-
Adira,
Mike
what's
is
that?
picking it
What's
up.
that sleep spell you've got again?
Yeah, all you hear is.
Corlick, you have one of those spells too. It's called the side of your weapon there. You just don't
Yep.
swing with
The
the sharp
butt of the
side.
weapon.
No, I'll just go find a rock and I will rock him to sleep.
Go to sleep. Smack, 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 smack.
Whack!
honestly, with Dante, yeah, you'd probably be able to manage it.
Look.
If you
look
could catch me.
just look at the catnip, Dante. Look at the cat. Bang.
Don't you take my catnip from me. I only have so much of it left.
Okay.
I
being said.
really want to let. I kind of just want to hop into Dante's head as we're being shown around,
Mm-hmm.
and just let him know that if he so chose, he could probably have his room filled with catnip while we are here, and it would probably happen.
Do I believe him?
Just like a giant mound of catnip in your room. All you have to do is ask.
Do I believe him?
Matter of fact, each room seems to be particularly tailored to your tastes. So, Dante, instead of a bed, you have a giant pile of throw pillows.
Is
Corlick,
there like a
go
beam
ahead.
in the room?
Yes.
Just like a giant overhang? Good.
Yep.
I'm hanging on the
Scratching
overhanging
post
beam.
While we're at it,
What was that, Adira?
I was like, is there a scratching post while we're at
I
it?
would say a beam covered in like heavy rope just all the way around.
Yeah,
Like a big overhanging beam for me to lay on.
Yep.
Yep.
string with
Nice
a cover
expensive
on it.
bed. I'm just up on the beam.
Yeah, but there's no bed. You have a pile of pillows and a beam.
That's what I mean. Big expensive bed.
Corlick, yours is much more suited for your barbaric tastes, in so much as it's furs and the tapestries show vanquished foes and glorious combat.
Also, assortment of collar and leashes.
No.
Wait, in your
My
room or
librarian here,
Corlick's room?
Dante?
Corlick.
Sorry, I just had to clarify that because I wasn't sure if you found that in your room or you're guessing that's in Corlick's room. So
Not in anybody's room
just had to ask.
that you're aware of. Mostly because I don't need to get into my NPC's predilections. Adira, your room has a window, and on the sill of the window is some potted flowers. Just Q's expression of excitement the moment I said potted flowers on a windowsill.
Are they flowers I recognize?
Yes.
Okay.
Koss, your room has a sturdy desk with which you for you to be able to lay out plans, but it's not a workshop. So there's no tools available for your use, but it is
I
a good
bring my
place
own.
if you wanted to work on blueprints or something, you'd be able to work on blueprints in your room.
Okay.
Adira and Koss, your beds are a little bit more on the modern-esque side. So your typical four-poster mattress, whole 9 yards. Cyanus tells you that once you're settled, if you wish to come down for dinner, all you have to do is ask the direction of the dining room, and he shows you what it does. He says he just says into the still of the air, "Please show me to the dining room." And you notice on the floor, almost glowing, kind of bioluminescent, is a set of footprints that lead back down the stairs. So you can't get lost in this keep. Even though it's only 3 floors, you can't get lost. And with that, he descends the stairs and allows you guys to get comfortable if you wish to sleep before eating, whichever you wish to do.
I don't
And
believe that Dante believes me, so I'm going to go into my room and I would like to ask the air for Dante's pile of pillows to be covered in catnip.
Okay. Dante,
Mm-hmm.
are you still in your room?
Yep. I'm still
Cool.
hanging out on the beam.
Sure. You watch as a sprinkling of something very familiar is spread over the pillow. Seemingly out of
Uh-oh.
nowhere.
My God. My eyes just go wide open and my eyes just go like zip.
We find Dante 3 days later, just like covered in pillows.
I got
Super
within 3
Have you
days.
ever felt these pillows? They're so soft. Just rubbing my back on them.
So that is your accommodations while you stay here.
What's in Amaranth's room?
Sorry, Mom, did you ask something?
What is in Amaranth's room?
You are really quiet.
Okay.
Oh.
Try again?
That was louder for a second.
I don't know. Is that better?
Oh man.
A little bit.
The
Just
question was,
speak up
what
a
is in
little more.
Amaranth's room?
Correct.
Amaranth's room is significantly more based on their patriarch sensibilities. So it's a little bit more lavishly colored than everybody else's. Deep
Ooh.
burgundies, some gold filigree, very much suited to their noble
Bougie.
status. You know, kind of Rococo esque era, where it's all reds and golds and kind of ornate.
So what you're telling me is Amaranth has an ornate red room for their bedroom.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay. Good for them.
So, party, what are you doing?
The sooner I get some food, the sooner I can explore. So I'm just show me where the food is.
Okay. Is anybody else going with Koss, or is Koss gonna go off on his own?
I'm gonna grab some food. I'm
Okay.
getting hungry.
Corlick?
Sorry, I was trying to test and get the voice up. What was the question?
Are you heading with us to get some food?
Absolutely.
Adira.
I'll go as well.
Okay. So the four of you head down together, and are led to a large dining room. You know, this is the kind of place that you could hold meetings in, but you could also hold a party in. And the table is laid out with a fabulous spread of food. Given how long you've been in Avernus, you know that this food is probably not going to taste very good no matter what you guys do to it because it's Avernus. But it is still nutritional. And you're still able to enjoy most of the taste. It just tastes just a little bit off. Not that you're going to get sick from it. It's just the taste doesn't quite seem right.
Well, what kind of food is on the table?
Anything your heart could possibly desire. So if you want the equivalency of fantasy caviar is on that table. Seated
Oh
at the head of
my
the
god.
table are your hosts, the winged tiefling and her husband. They appear to be in deep conversation as you approach. But it's quiet, so you don't quite hear what they're saying, even as you get close, because as you get close enough to actually hear them, they stop talking. And both smile at you all in greeting.
Yes, Cyanus. Hello. Thank you for taking us in.
Dante, it's good to see that you're well.
Honestly, I am glad I am well as well. Because we've gone through hell. I do finger points.
She just kind of rolls her eyes but smiles anyway.
We appreciate the sanctuary.
Everybody needs to be able to relax now and then. Do you like it?
It's perfect.
It's interesting. I've read about this kind of magic, but seeing it is quite something.
I could teach you, if you'd like.
From what I understand, this spell might be a little pricey for me to take care of.
That's fair. But if you ever change your mind, you know how to get a hold of me.
Absolutely.
And she raises her goblet to you guys before drinking. Korlik, Adira, it's good to see you both as well.
And you. We appreciate this
It's a pleasure to see you too.
haven.
Does the drink at least taste like drink, or is it also tasteless?
No, it tastes like drink, but it almost tastes a little sour.
Flask. Wait, because my flask is connected to the flask in the Emporium, does it still taste like it should from the Emporium because it's technically still located there?
Are you drinking from the flask or are you pouring it into a glass?
I'm drinking from the flask.
Then it still tastes like it should from the Emporium.
Beautiful.
If you were to drink it from the glass, it would take on that slightly sour taste.
Nope. We found a loophole.
Okay. Argus looks at Adira specifically. Have you given some thought to what I told you? Gosh, was it only a week ago now?
Absolutely drawing a blank on what they told me.
She could help you find your true name.
Oh. To be honest, I didn't remember if that had actively been told to her or not. But uh, yes, I've given it some thought. Perhaps later.
Of course. It'll take me a little while to gather everything I need, but when I'm ready, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Please, sit, enjoy, eat, rest. Allow yourselves to feel the cool from the oppressive heat outside.
I shall take full advantage. Oh, man, this wilted skunkfish is like absolutely perfect. A little bit off, but you know what? I still love it. How did you do this?
Sorry, repeat that question, JT.
How did you do? I'm just basically making RP chat.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm asking how the wilted skunkfish turned out so good, yet still just a little bit off. But it's still like, how did you do this?
The
As much as
wilted
I would love,
skunkfish.
as much as I would love to take credit for that, she kind of speaks up before her husband just lays his hand on her forearm. They don't want to hear the ins and outs of a spell, dear. And then she snaps her fingers. She's like, "You're right. You're right. I almost launched into a completely needless explanation."
I wouldn't mind hearing it.
Well, you see, the beautiful thing about this spell, and give it now that you gave her permission, she's gonna do it. And she does. She launches into this explanation about how she found all of these different recipes across their travels. They have a friend who does a roaming kitchen, and
Bless you.
he became a really good cook. And his recipe books are actually on file in their library. And their cooks and whoever they employ here can make every single dish in those cookbooks, and that's one of them.
And Koss intently listens to the entire thing.
Did I know we haven't interacted a whole lot. Once on the field of battle as we charged in to save you all from a pack of demons, and then once again when we were able to return your friend home. But I did get the idea for your rooms correct, didn't I?
Oh, definitely.
Dante
I like
just
the added touch.
thinking about those pillows when he gets back upstairs.
Dante's foot's just a pound on you. Just a bouncing.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
He's getting ready to do the butt wiggle.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna
butt
hear so
wigs.
many weird noises coming out of that room, Corlick. It's gonna be
Got
the
him a
middle of
sound
the night,
sleeper.
and all you're gonna hear is like, "Wow."
Yep, but thankfully I'm a
Fantastic.
sound sleeper.
Oh man.
This is the rock of sleeping. Have I ever shown you this enchantment before?
I'm glad that you're. I'm glad that you are approving of the runes. I like to pride myself on being able to read people upon first meeting them. Some people are harder than others, and it usually helps if I can see their faces, but. And she kind of like gives Koss a look, because the only 2 times she's ever met Koss before, it has been with his helmet on.
I'm eating. My helmet is off.
Yeah, no, but before, like, based off of what she
Just
knew
like
about
the
you, it was
helmet
just
is
like.
going like this. And I'm eating, like putting the food in between the helmet as like it opens and closes.
No, I just imagine it as cost. Just like he takes the scope and he puts it, and he hits the front of the mask and just kink. Oh, right. Then lifts it up.
um, I'm glad that you all enjoy it. Please, the castle and the keep are open to you if you wish to explore and look around. It's none of it is closed off. We do ask that if you're going to be doing any sort of experimentation, that one of us be there in the workshop just to contain any issues.
Lovely.
But
3
I have no
questions.
problem. 3 answers.
Is there a bathhouse?
Yes.
Definitely will need some help in the workshop. And where can I find your library?
Well, the second one wasn't really a question. That was a statement. And the
Who
library will
would
be
want to
up.
help me with something loosely concerning the astral plane?
Cyanus points at his wife.
There you go. 3 questions.
There you go. The library is on the 3rd floor. And it pretty much takes up the entirety of the 3rd floor. You're realizing that's because Arcus might actually be older than you think she is.
Oh, I'm fine with it. I'm not worried about it.
So she definitely looks like she has procured and accumulated a lot of knowledge over the
I
years.
am going to say to the void that is this spell, can you bring any spells regarding the astral plane and travel to my room?
You don't get a reply, but you're pretty sure it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Bit of
you,
nighttime reading before I go to the workshop tomorrow.
of course. Conversation is kind of jovial. Arcus and Cyanus ask you guys what you've been up to. They tell you what they've heard about what you guys have been up to across the plains of Avernus.
I'm
Including
curious
some
what the
really,
third person retelling of some of this sounds like.
you know, it definitely sounds like something Comfort would have spun.
Please tell me Comfort is just writing amazing stories about us and spreading it through the land.
I guess you'll have to check the
Sounds like
library.
something he would do.
Oh, God. Oh, I have my own reading to do tonight. I will look tomorrow.
Um, okay. The Cyanus has costs. This is for you. Cyanus is curious, and he says as much. Your armor, it's fascinating. My wife likes to deal with the spell casting. I'm much more tactile. I would love to learn more about your armor if you're willing to share information.
Ooh, I might need both of your help tomorrow then. Um, but as far as the armor goes, I'm kind of not allowed to.
Not allowed to share?
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Call it trade secrets.
Understandable. Absolutely. I totally understand that. I will not judge you about trade secrets. There is definitely things that we wouldn't share with you because of the same reason.
I would get
What
a
are
lot
we-
of flack from people who probably think I'm dead at this point, but at this point, it is still an oath, and I don't plan to break that.
And I wouldn't ask you to, but I would love to ask questions if you'd be willing to answer the ones that you can.
I will answer what I can.
Fantastic. And yes, whatever you need. I'm more tactile, so once you've finished with the theory with her, I'd be more than happy to lend you my hand.
Beautiful.
Is there anything else tonight that you guys absolutely want to ask Arcus and Cyanus before you head off to bed? Okay. Is there anything that you all want to do with each other before you head off to bed and we call it the next day?
I don't know about with each other, but Koss is heading straight to that bathhouse.
Okay.
If we have sanctuary, I'm gonna relax before I go to bed.
Absolutely. Why not?
I'm not really telling anyone I went. I'm just gonna kind of get up after dinner and head there.
Okay.
I'm in my room, enjoying some catnip, but back up on my beam. Flipping through the dossier that was so lovely given to me,
Mm-hmm.
and just figuring, names, locations, figuring what if all the information that I had requested is there. Oh, we got to stretch.
Yes, I will
Uh,
enjoy that.
This is all. Stretch this, stretch that.
You can't see him, but he is absolutely stretching.
Oh,
In
I'm stretching.
Bodek's voice.
Uh, uh, I haven't felt like this since I left the morning. Ah.
Okay.
That was a lovely back crack.
Yes.
That was
Thank you.
much needed.
Okay. So, you head for the bathhouse. Costs.
Yep.
You're just relaxing in the
I
the
don't really
hot
have
water.
any plans for it. I just
Okay.
go in, drop everything, and sit in the water for like 45
Perfect.
minutes.
The water temperature never changes. It is the same consistent heat that will relax you.
Cool. Because I'm just gonna sip on my flask as I'm sitting in.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking in the bath is such a bad idea.
I'm
So
somewhere
bad.
safe. And I'm not drinking a lot.
You could try.
Adira,
Yes,
you wanted to do something before we
I
rolled.
did. I'd like to go see Corlick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Corlick's just sitting and enjoying
Oh,
a drink or
can
out
bear
walking
me.
around.
Hold on.
Can you hear me okay now, Maddie?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're coming
Good.
through loud and clear now.
Yeah.
Good.
They also turned you up so I could make sure I hear everything.
Kind of
I
important.
Corlick suddenly yelling in your ear.
It's just me sitting there. No. Sorry, where would Corlick be?
He's probably gone for a walk after dinner just to stretch his legs. It's still early, so he's not ready to head to bed.
Okay. I will go and find Corlick. I'll walk with him for a little bit at first. Corlick, would you mind some company?
Not at all. It'd be interesting to walk with you. We still need to set up a time for us to practice your sword work. Is it just me? Because I can't hear her.
Apologies,
can't hear.
I muted a little bit because I was opening something. Yes, of course. I'm sure we could find time in the next couple days. Korlik, that deal with name escaping me right now, that's fine. That deal
Azora.
Azora. Trust issues with them.
Yes. The deal I haven't agreed to yet.
Yes. What exactly are they offering you?
The chance to have my revenge on the ones who killed the woman I was in love with. And all I've got to do is sign off, that he has my soul and the time. Means I get to fight. Not a bad way to spend the rest of your life.
I don't know, it just... I guess it's just my nature to not want to see my friends sell their souls, I guess. Had enough of a time making Comfort not do that, so...
True, but Comfort had family to go back to.
I'm sure you have family. Somewhere. Even if you don't have family, you do have friends. You have all of us.
Yes, I have my friends, but one way or another, I'm going to either die here fighting, but I do want to get my revenge. I mean, they killed her. She stepped in front of me and took what was meant for me. And now they blame me. They said that I killed her. I got no way to prove that I'm innocent, but I do want them to pay for it by my hand. And if Azora's going to give that to me, then it might be worth it. But I haven't said yes to him yet. Please don't worry about me.
I'm... Well, it's a little too late for that, because I worry about all of you all the time.
That makes you who you are, my dear.
I'd like to do something for you if you'd let me. Would you describe her to me?
Describe her. Oh, wow. She was beautiful inside and out. She had gorgeous, beautiful strawberry blonde hair, green eyes, just perfect features. She was about 5'6". It was more not necessarily how she looked, it was about who she was. She was, well, I guess she's a little bit like you, Adira. She always tried to help other people, and she had this whole ability to make you feel good when you were around her. She made you a better person, and they took that.
While we're talking, I'd pull Korlik, like, if we can find a spot to sit, I'd sit,
Mhm.
and have him,
Mhm.
like, sit beside her, and Adira would pull out her sketchbook, and she would start sketching. And along the lines, she'd ask, like, how did you both meet? And how did you know when you were in love with her?
As I said, she made me a better person. I used to do woodworking back at before I was forced to leave my home, and she came looking for a gift for her brother and sister, and made it for her. And we met, we talked, and her family didn't approve, of course. I was just a barbarian with a little bit of bear in him. But she saw past that. She just saw me, not what I could do. They thought I wasn't good enough for her. You're right. I'm not good enough for her. but I wanted to be. And they took that from us.
Can you tell
What about you? Do you have someone you care for? That you have fallen for? You really didn't think I'm not going to turn this on you, Adira. I'm not good talking about myself.
Hurry, look at this photo. Check out this drawing I made. Sorry, continue.
Do I need to roll for that, Maddie, by the way?
Sure. You know what? Give me a performance check at advantage.
Oh. 19.
Yes. You're fine. You did perfect. It is a beautiful, fantastic, perfect rendition of the woman as she has been described to you.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
Wow. You are very, very gifted.
Mom, you're quiet again. Check your connection. No, Mom, just check your connection. I think it's your USB port.
Yeah, it could be. I didn't change it. So, is that better?
Yes, it is now.
There we go. You are very, very gifted. This is her to a perfect look.
I'd tear it from the book and I would hand it to Corlick. I know Azor's offered you your revenge, but I think there's more than Azora is leading on about. You know me, I'm not very one to put distrust in people, and I don't trust them.
I agree. They always have their fine print that most people miss. But I will not leave you guys without. When I make this decision, it'll be well after this is done. We succeed and get our goals done here to bring Avernus back up out of hell. And then I'll see where it goes. But I don't know how to thank you for this picture.
You don't have to worry about it. The conversation was enough.
You are a very special woman, my dear.
Thank you, Corlick.
Thank you. I think I'm going to go for a walk now.
Of course.
I have some thoughts to think about, which I'm pretty sure this is what you wanted. And you really missed off about, who you, and have you, ever been in love?
Sorry. Something I twitched to make you laugh. I might. No, I'm not sure. I'm sort of figuring things out a little.
It's different for everybody, but they make you want to be a better person, and you want what's best for them. Whoever you are interested in would be very fortunate and blessed to be with you. But as your fighter here, he fucking hurts you, and the goddamn wall. Just saying.
Thank you, Corlick.
Have a good evening.
You
And Corlick's gonna turn and go for a walk.
Adira will probably just go back to her room.
Okay. Because there was another plot point that you wanted to do. Do you want to do that
Not yet.
tonight? Not tonight? Okay.
Not tonight, no.
I was like, you sent me 3 things you wanted to do, and we can't do one of them because he's not here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
That's nice.
Actually, I wanted to knock on Koss's room.
We'll assume at this point that Koss is back in his room after the 45-minute bath time.
Actually, I was gonna try and do it when he was away, or at least try and time it
Okay.
for when he was away.
Sure, why not? What are you doing?
Just knocking on the door.
Nobody answers.
Nobody answers. Okay. I go over to Adira's room, knock on the door.
So yeah, this is probably I'd be back by this point, I guess. Open the door.
But before you open the door, I want to change my disguise into Koss.
Okay. Oh man, I can't wait for this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Adira, Koss is standing before you because it's a hat of disguise, and you can't tell otherwise. Well, to be fair, he hasn't opened his mouth yet, so.
Koss. Hi.
And in Koss's perfect voice, hey, I just wanted to check in and see if everything was okay.
Yes. Everything's fine. I just had a lovely conversation with Korlik.
Really? And what did you guys talk about?
Um.
You okay?
A little too strangely, and it just fucking killed my throat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to not do this while your throat's killing you right now?
No, it's okay. That's fine. I've had a couple throat numb things, so I'm like okay now. For now anyway.
If you just want me to stop this at any time, just please say so. I don't want you to kill yourself for this.
No, that's okay. That's fine. We talked a little about his deal with Azora. I drew something for him. Other than that, he's gone off. He's gone off for a walk on his own now.
Ah, well, I think I'll do the same. This was a nice chat. I turn around and walk away.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you know what, Adira? You can go ahead and give me an insight check.
I want one other thing though, really quick, because Otter and I set something up a little outside of your knowledge.
I'm the DM. Why is it outside of my
It was
know about?
It was after the last time Dante started using the hat to switch into people. We had talked about it after session, but I don't know if you heard us.
I may not have. I may have gotten up to go to the bathroom or something.
Okay, that's quite all right. So we'll just see how this goes then.
Hey, Koss, before you go, do you remember that code word we came up with?
Guy- you know what, dear? I'm really trying to have some fun here. I just completely changed the disguise.
This is big brain time. What do you got, Dante? What's the password?
What's the password? 666.
Not this time.
After you had been going around the camp switching into everybody, it's like, it's all fun and games. But if you're ever not sure, here's a code word. If I don't respond with this code word, it's not me.
It's Lulu.
Oh my god.
It's actually not.
Oh,
That'd be
Okay,
too
well,
easy. Koss came up with the password. Adira didn't
well,
because
me,
Adira would be too easy to find
DM,
out.
can you send it to me so I know what it is?
yeah, I got you.
Thanks.
Here you go. You're gonna love this password.
I love that you guys were like, yeah, we set this up without telling you, and I'm like, I'm the DM. I feel like this is shit I should know. Wow! I love that.
Oh wow, so I would have never guessed it.
It's a good one.
It's a great one. Definitely not something that would just come up randomly in conversation.
To be fair, that's my go-to. Like, yeah,
There's just a big smile on fake Costa's face.
Dante's voice clear as day out of his mouth. Jared be like, "Oh, I don't like that." You're getting better at it, Dante.
Well, I mean, I'm trying. I mean, I'm trying not to pry actual information out of people because that's just wrong. But still, I just wanted to see if this would work. Because who knows if a situation comes up and I need to quickly change into something that could get people off of our trail. I might just have to do that.
I think it was really good.
Perfect. Once I'm sorry I had to do this, but I had to make sure.
That's all right. Honestly, it was quite enjoyable.
Yes, but did I get his cadence right? I know you've been paying attention to him more often than not, so just wanted to know. Oh, wait, let me do you. I turned myself into you.
Uh,
Guys, I would really like some tea.
you're right. I do prefer tea over most drinks.
Because everything else is just yucky.
Say that? Do I say yucky?
I've heard you use that at least twice now.
You'll have to try that on somebody else, if anything. I feel like using it myself on me is weird.
That is fair. I'll have to go try this out with the other people.
Hmm.
I'll go knock on Amaranth's room and we'll cut to the next scene.
Yep.
Decca and I can RP this later.
Adira,
Yes.
is there
You
anything that
fuckers.
you want to do tonight?
No. Not tonight.
Dante. The second you got that hat, I was like, we gotta think of something.
You knew exactly what I was gonna do with it.
Oh, I love you guys. All right.
Eh.
You all rest up for the night. Get your 8 hours. It's peaceful, quiet, and blessedly cool. What was that for?
Oh, just to see, because technically what I was doing was performing.
Fair enough.
I
Not
could give
sure
an
if
insight
roll
just to
perception
see.
perception check.
Would I have gotten it? Yeah. Yeah, I would have gotten it.
But you did a perception check, Dante, not a.
What was it? A perception?
Performance.
Oh,
No, you
Performance.
oops, never mind. Performance. Wow. Well, or deception.
Adira
Yeah,
still
Adira
saw
still
through
would have
you.
seen through it.
Yeah.
I'm very
Still,
sorry. I have
though.
a +9 and I hit insight.
You have a plus. I can see everything into life.
My perception, my insight, my
Okay.
medicine, all +9.
To give Q's voice a rest, we're going to start with Koss. In the morning, after you've broken your fast from the night before, you are led to the workshop. It is actually in a basement area. And it is, I want to say vast, but It spans the exact dimensions of the keep, and it is one giant floor.
Sure.
You can clearly see the division between his work area and her work area.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because her work area seems to have all sorts of infernal scribblings and writings and books strewn everywhere. His is a little bit more organized. You have a feeling that if she went looking for something, she'd know exactly where it was, but if you tried, you would have no idea.
You see, my workshop looks like her workshop, but it has the contents of his workshop. I
Yeah.
fully understand.
Both of them come down with you to the workshop, though, because you had mentioned that you needed both of their expertise.
Sure. And I would like to go over with them. I'm going to pull the bottle of water off my desk here and hydrate.
Oh, did we get a hydrate?
We did.
I'm gonna need to go grab something.
That's okay.
Uno momento.
I look forward to the weird noises you'll make when you come back. But I will pull out from my pocket the blueprint of what seems to be an arrowhead. A very complicated arrowhead. And I want to explain the theory, or rather ask if my book knowledge is correct. Two items that use pocket space cannot enter each other without catastrophic failure.
As far as I've been able to determine, yes, I can't say that it's something I experiment with myself. And I certainly... My husband and I explore different facets of magic. He is of the bloodline persuasion.
Okay,
All
I'm
of
back.
mine is self-taught.
Okay.
I say self-taught. By this point, all of it is self-taught.
Okay.
So he's more into the experimentation and working with this. As far as I've been able to determine, yes, that is exactly what would happen.
Okay.
But
That's
we
what I
haven't really
wanted to
tested.
confirm.
We haven't really tested because trying to get people back from the astral plane is a nightmare.
That it is. That being said, that answered my theory. What do you think of this design?
Arcus and Cyanus both start looking it over. Remind me what languages you speak.
I can just go like this. It is Common, Quarry, Infernal, and Dwarvish.
Okay. I need to quickly double check something.
Sure. And for those watching, it is an arrowhead that seems to have some sort of like cage at the end of it instead of a point. And inside would be housing for, say, a bag of holding of sorts. And then it tapers up towards the top, and there's a cylinder that would fit a pocket hole with a safety pin in it. So theoretically, when it was shot, the pocket hole would be pushed into the bag of holding, which would rupture the two of them and create a rip to the astral sea.
So,
At least that is the theory.
the two of them start speaking very quickly in Elvish, which isn't a language that you know. They're not doing it to exclude you. It is literally just that is what they default to when they're trying to talk fast. And
I'm
Elvish
just
is
going to sit there because I already know what's on the paper in front of them. I'm just waiting for feedback.
And you watch as she points something out, says something. He pauses, pulls a sheet of paper towards him, starts writing things down. This time it's written in Infernal because he's been here so long that he's just defaulting to writing in Infernal despite the fact that they're talking in Elvish.
Okay.
So you can read it, and what you're reading, he seems to be writing down mathematic equations, but then you notice that it also involves like planar invocations as well.
Hmm.
And it's clear that they're just like they're double checking your math.
That's why I asked for both of their help before I go and try and make this myself.
They are at this for a half hour to make sure that they don't miss anything in helping you craft this.
Sure. I mean, currently I don't have a bag of holding that I can use to just throw away,
Yeah, yeah,
but this is crafting the housing and the
yeah.
actual arrows.
So they switch back to infernal,
Hmm.
um, and then switch back to common because why would you speak in infernal if everybody knows common? Um, and
When
they
in
ask
hell.
you, yeah, but I mean, so they ask you a couple questions about the housing. How exactly are you planning on doing this? And it becomes a back and forth. You guys are at this for a good couple hours discussing the theory behind this.
Hmm.
Cyanus actually, as you're talking to Arcus about the theory of the magic behind it, because this is more her wheelhouse than his, he is coming up with alternate designs for you than just the arrowhead. But it all seems to revolve back to the arrowhead because it seems like that is the best choice
It seems a very good
for
delivery
delivery.
method
Yeah.
for something that probably you don't want to be near.
He does up one that would fit better into a large crossbow, like what Amaranth uses.
Sure.
Um, Mostly because that seems to be what would fit the best
Hmm.
for the delivery method. Because the size, a a um a bag of holding can only get so small.
Yes.
So it would have to be a fairly substantial arrowhead. So short of attaching it to a ballista, it would have to go into a fairly large crossbow bolt.
Which we also have.
Yes, but you don't want to try and fuck around with aiming a ballista at a small target.
No.
You got a higher chance of missing.
I
So,
trust Amaranth's aim.
yeah. So they go back and forth this, they argue, not they have animated and vivid discussions, not arguments, animated and vivid discussions about how a arrowhead of that size would affect the trajectory, how much would it weight it down, would it change how much, like would you have to adjust, like aim a little bit more up to get it where you need it to go, is it
Hmm.
going to affect the distance? They discuss all of this with you.
Yeah, and I would let them know that I do have a bag of holding on me that we could use for weight purposes to figure this math out. But I'm not willing to leave it on the arrowhead because of its current contents.
And they totally understand that. That's okay.
Yeah.
um
That being said, if
and
they have one they want to get rid of to test for science, hey, but that's not something everyone's just going to hand away. That's okay, I can make more later.
um they do help you. This is pretty much going to take you 24 hours to do. Once you get past the theory portion, and she's happy with how the theory is, and at this point it's just adjusting trajectory and size and aerodynamics, she leaves you in Cyanus's care.
Yep.
And then she's going to go finish collecting the things that she needs to help Adira.
Sure. I would
um
like to end up with 2 of these arrow housings by the end of this.
yeah. um he While you're working on the pieces together, you kind of wind up working on his workshop bench side by
Hmm.
side. He asks you questions about your armor. Things like how does it fit together? How does it retract and shift? And how can you take it on and off? He knows that some of this will be proprietary, and he understands. And if you tell him that I can't answer that, he just kind of moves on. He doesn't harp
Okay.
at it. He doesn't keep circling back and trying to ask the same question different ways either. He's not that
Sure,
kind of
sure.
person. you know, but he
That
wants to know more
is
about it.
greatly
It's something that
appreciated.
interests him. Yeah, you know, he mentions that if he hadn't decided to go full into just being a sorcerer and being who he was, that this probably would have been something he would have been interested in trying.
Mm-hmm. Give
And now
me
once
2 seconds to actually just read the specifics of this on what I
sure,
can and can't talk about regarding it.
sure.
History.
He does mention that their stint in Avernus is going to be coming to an end soon, and that he kind of wants something to occupy himself with, and that looking into being what Koss is might be what he does. Since it would settle his proclivities towards manufacturing and creation.
Okay. So it is in fact a solemn oath to not take on an apprentice. So I'm guessing that means I cannot really relay the information of the craft.
In a sense, you can share like tips, things that you found helped you in your quest for knowledge, but you wouldn't be able to share or take him on as an apprentice. But he doesn't want to be an apprentice to somebody, because to be an apprentice means that you kind of gotta forsake the wife, and he loves her so much. He followed her to the first level of hell to do this thing. This man loves his wife.
That is fair.
So, but it's one of those like he's going to try and do it himself. He just kind of needs to be steered in the right direction without being told, because he understands the ideas of oaths, and so he asks you questions that you would be able to answer around that oath without breaking it, without revealing trade secrets. He gets his information
Mm-hmm.
while helping you craft a thing that you need. An exchange of services, as it were.
Yes.
Knowledge for assistance.
I would let him know that a far greater source of information that would be able to share with you when you get back topside. Look for a group called the Alderfists.
Okay. You watch as he pulls over a notebook, jots down the name, and then closes the notebook again. This is going to take you all day to get working prototypes ready to go for Amaranth to test.
Sure.
So while you are doing that with Cyanus, Adira, how are you feeling? Good? Okay. You hear a soft knock at your door, or wherever it is that you are. Where did you go after breakfast?
Maybe to the library.
Cool. Then Arcus finds you in the library, which is
Okay.
convenient because this is where she would have taken you anyway.
Oh, perfect.
My husband and your friend are deep in talks down there, and I wouldn't want us to distract them.
Of course.
So, come, sit down by the fire. It'll be a little bit more comfortable and aesthetics, you know.
Of course. I'll do just that.
And she sits down. There's a very comfortable armchair there, and she sits down on another one across from you.
Mhm.
And she leans forward with her arms braced against her knees. So, Adira, here's how this will work. I'm going to use one of my numerous abilities, being I am who I am, and all you have to do is not resist. Let it happen, and I will be able to discover your true name.
All right.
She is basically telling you you have to intentionally fail the saving throw you're going to have to make.
All right.
Okay? Now, I don't know what's going to happen. When this does, everybody reacts differently to having their true name pulled from them. Just be ready for anything.
Of course.
She puts both of her hands out to you to place yours on top of hers.
Right.
At which point she then uses this. And she magically compels you to tell you her true name.
Okay.
The name that comes out of your mouth is not Adira.
Okay.
The name that comes out of your mouth is, I wrote this down, is Ariel.
All right.
And the moment you speak your true name, all 6 of your wings sprout from your back.
Mm.
Your eyes are all one color. Give me 1 second because I know you sent me a reference photo. Hold tight.
What was the name again, Maddie? I didn't.
Ariel. Hang on. I will spell it. They are one is completely blue, the other is completely green. And they give off a soft glow. Ah. I know what you are. It's not anything bad. I promise. Although I will ask, would you prefer to be Adira or Ariel, since both are your name?
Adira feels better.
Adira it is. How much do you know about Devas? As you settle back, the wings just disappear.
Okay.
You don't even have to consciously think about taking them back. They just disappear back into your skin as you rest back so that they're not in the way. You actually watch as Arcus's do the same thing. Her bat wings do the same thing.
I know a little of it, mostly from my aunt.
Do you mind if I educate you a little bit?
No.
Okay. So, Devas are 2 halves of the same whole, occupying 2 separate bodies. You will always feel drawn to that other half. Whether it's romantic, platonic, they are your soulmate.
Okay.
Okay? That doesn't mean that whatever you have going on with your tall, dark, and handsome friend in the armor is something to be ignored because of this. Your soulmate does not have to be the person that you're romantically involved with.
Okay.
Okay? Just to put you at ease so that you didn't think that you had to be, going one way or the other.
Mm.
There's no need to worry about that. Follow your heart. That's the only thing that matters. So this other half you will feel some of their emotions.
All right.
Is there ever been a time where you maybe felt an inappropriate swell of emotions? Such as you're at a funeral and suddenly you feel incredibly elated, or you're enjoying a birthday party and suddenly you feel extremely sad?
Maybe, but nothing that's overly coming to mind, sadly.
That's probably the connection between the 2 of you. You'll feel some of their emotions, they'll feel some of yours. The closer you get, the stronger it'll be. You will always want to try and find them because it feels right. You feel like you're missing a part of yourself because you don't know where they are and you haven't met them. Or they're missing and you need to find them.
All right.
The one thing I've been able to find across, and I deal almost strictly in doubles with my own summoning prefer devils over demons. They're significantly more straightforward. But I've had to investigate and research angels, and devas are a type of angel. However, because you are one half of a whole, if you wanted, I could probably find him for you. Or her. I don't assume. I could find them for you. If you wanted.
I think I already know where they are.
Fair enough. If you need help getting there, let me know. Be more than happy to assist.
I think I know how to get to them. We'll see if it works out that way. If it doesn't, I will be sure to contact you.
Of course. Are you guys okay? I know that traveling in the first layer of hell can be stressful and difficult for even those who are prepared for it. And she kind of gestures to herself. Some of the toughest parts of my marriage have been down here. This does not make for a good vacation spot. Not that Cyanus and I are down here taking a vacation. But are you guys okay? Is there mentally, can I help you guys?
I think we're all right. This break, I think, is going to be good for everyone. So
You
thank
can
you for
stay as long
taking
as
us
you like.
in.
Of course. Of course. If there's one thing I am, it is always to be polite and respectful. And you all seem to be a little bit lacking in the arcane knowledge. So, it would behoove me to offer my services if you needed it.
Of course. Yes, and we thank you for that.
I have a book here that may interest you. If
All
you'd
right.
like.
Sure.
She stands up and walks over to a bookshelf that's near the fireplace.
Okay.
And she kind of runs her fingers over the book. So she's looking for like a specific author. She finds it, pulls it down. It is a slim novel. And she holds it out to you. And it says Tales from Hell. And at the bottom is Comfort's name.
It's me, not in the slightest. Why do I feel
hell?
surprised? I should not be surprised.
Please tell me
I'm
there's illustration of
worried.
all of his stab wounds from me and saying it's all from devils.
I'm worried, but also intrigued. But I'm not there.
No, you're not.
Nope.
May I keep this for a while?
Of course. I will have to state that you can't take it out of the keep.
Oh.
Anything that leaves these grounds crumbles to dust.
All right.
Even though this is my library, it gets packed away into various pocket dimensions when we're ready to move on. So
All right. Thank you.
you are, of course, welcome to read it while you're here.
I probably will do that, actually.
And before I forget, there's a chapel on the second floor if you feel the need to reflect in a place
Thank you.
closer to your deity.
Actually, I might do that later. Thank you.
Of course. And if you want to practice flying, let me know.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
She stands up and walks off, and as she stands back up, again, her wings just appear out of her back again.
Mhm.
And she heads out of the library to leave you to your reading and ruminations.
All right.
Corlick,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing with your day off?
Well, I'd be outside making sure that all the weapons are sharp and ready to go, and do some practicing, just exercise and just keeping sharp.
Okay. You know what? Just for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles. After Arcus is done with Adira up in the library, she hears you out in the courtyard and comes down to join you and asks if you would like a sparring partner.
Absolutely.
She asks if you would like her to fight as she normally does, or if you would just like to fight with practice weapons. Because there is a significant difference between the two.
As you usually would, because that's what I'm going to have to hit down here.
She nods, and you stand about 15 paces away from each other. You know, your typical dueling start distance, right?
Mhm.
You watch as she summons a dagger to her hand. It is dark red and a little bit see-through. And then you watch as her body sort of shimmers with a light. You're pretty sure she just casted mage armor on herself and has summoned a shadow blade. And the two of you face off. You can go ahead and roll me a D100 to see how well you do, because I'm not actually going to have us roll it out, do that whole thing, because despite you being a barbarian, she would probably kick your ass.
So 1D100?
Yes, please. You hold your own, but ultimately she does defeat you. And much of that is because she is able to, whenever you try and throw her, she winds up back on her feet because of her wings. Which is something you should learn how to combat. And she takes her time and she talks you through how to disable somebody's wings so that you can take them to the ground permanently. And with that, Korlik, you can add to your features and traits. You have advantage on taking down winged devils.
Awesome.
Now, it is only winged devils. Okay? And Dante, last but certainly not least, is there anything you specifically would like to do with this break?
Still thumbing through that dossier. I want to try and contact Gwenzarta, but that doesn't have to be exactly role
All right.
played.
Let me get back to you on that. Otter, are you the one streaming tonight?
I am.
You are? Okay.
Sorry to have sprung that one on you. I just
Nope, you're good.
I just remembered it.
You're good. You're good. Is there anything else that you would like to do, Koss? Since I have, we'll kind of come back to this when we have Amaranth, because I know we have more Amaranth things to do. And I want to do that while they have a chance to have a rest.
Sure, sure. I would ask if they have anywhere in this keep that one could do metalworking on a larger scale.
Cyanus asks you how hot you need to get the forge.
I don't know yet, but probably pretty hot, and I will show him the metal.
Okay. He tells you that he has a forge, but it may take a day to get it as hot as you need it to get, because you need it to get substantially hot to melt that particular metal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And with that in mind, and everybody resting up, we are gonna call it here really early for tonight. They kind of got through all of the RP shit that I had planned. That I had planned for them. And we will be back next week with Amaranth joining us and getting to have a little bit of RP time for themselves. And we will wrap up their stay with Cyanus and Arcus and move on to the Bleeding Citadel. So
Okay.
as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, dbeyond.com, as well as Lucky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express. If you're looking for live games to play in the Huntsville, Alabama area, head on out to those two locations and check them out. I apologize we're ending early. I know we didn't play last week, but this was supposed to be RP heavy, and we're missing a player, and they have some pretty heavy RP stuff I kind of want to cover with them, so I don't want to move them away from the safe area just yet. So we will come back next week. However, we have a one-shot being run tomorrow by yours truly, featuring a group of people who do nothing but tell dad jokes. I hope you're excited because it's gonna be hilarious. And I have a very sinking suspicion that I may piss my pants laughing. Because I know who's going to be on. We welcome Steve, Keith, JT, and Alex. Otter will be joining us if he has the time. If not, that is a-okay.
Sadly, work things got in the way.
IRL stuff must always come first. But those four are guaranteed to have me rolling in my seat laughing. We will be going live at 7 p.m. EST tomorrow with The Obelisk, which is a one-shot written for Nancy for Christmas last year. And she has given me permission to run it again and offer it up to the Diabear community for a Patreon reward. As such, if you wish to support us and get some more content, we, and by we, I mean Heath and I, will be writing up adventures to be released every so often on our Patreon. The tiers are finally going to get a rework this month. I swear to God, I promise it's going to happen because I'm going to sit down this weekend and do it. And we will have all of that updated ASAP. So, without further ado, we also have a game on Saturday. We will be back with the Stolen Cities, where we are still trying to figure out exactly what we need to do. I think we're about to go take on some pirates. Then we'll be off for Sunday and back on Monday with another episode of the Troubleshooters, where you can actually catch two of our players tonight. Quentin and Otter are both in the Troubleshooters. Where are you guys with that, by the way?
We went to a party.
Yeah, we went to a party. We were gifted a flamethrower that one of our clerics is really happy about. And we found a stitched together, 9-foot fellow that we don't know where came from?
Learning about it.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you want answers to all of those mysteries, tune in on Monday nights for another episode of the Troubleshooters. Tuesday, they are approaching the end for Valley by Night. They're hoping to be done for Christmas, ready to start a new game in the new year. Wednesday, we'll be back with another episode of Eyes of the Fallen, our Monster of the Week game, where we will have our second episode of our second hunt. I'm excited. Can't wait to find out exactly what's going on. And then, of course, we'll be back next week with a little bit more of this and them actually getting to the Bleeding Citadel. I'd like to thank Quentin, who is our social media manager, who also plays Adira. Otter, who has been lovely enough to make all of our overlays, deal with a lot of our Streamlabs issues, and run the stream tonight. So he's our streamer for tonight. He played Koss. Nancy, who is playing Corlick, everybody's lovable barbarian. And JT, who unfortunately was not on camera with us tonight, but plays everybody's favorite rogue, Dante. I am your production manager and DM, Pink Rambo. You can find me on Discord and on Twitter, pretty much with that handle. And I wish you guys all the best. Be good to one another. wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, and remember, roar for initiative.